Well, hi there. Hey, I was just out here thinking about Ukraine and why the Biden administration is up there. And then I was thinking about some of our not so good presidents like, well, George W. Bush, um, Barack Hussein Obama, and well, Joe Biden, he was vice president then, and he was helping him be a not so good president, even though he didn't need the help. And then the Biden administration, but all these administrations had trouble with Ukraine. When Donald Trump was running for president, they said, "Oh, gosh, if he gets to be president, there's going to be wars. There's going to be wars all over the place, and everybody's going to be fighting." But then, when he got in, there was no problem with Ukraine or Russia or a lot of the Middle East had settled down, and Kim Jong Un, North Korea, he got that under control, and now all that stuff is resurfacing. Now, but then I thought, well, the Biden administration and our border czar, Kamala Harris, the reason they're up there is because they're good at borders. I mean, look at our southern border. They, I mean, 3 million people didn't come across last year. Aren't you glad about that? So, what, 2 million? Just think what it would have been if our border czar wasn't in charge. Yeah, because, I mean, just look at the previous administration. I mean, okay, so the numbers are lower after they got the wall going, but they did have problems with the wall, okay? Yeah. And the same people now that are letting the border open, and they know why, and they're experts, because the average citizen can't put himself up to that level to where he knows what's going on, or she, or they, or them. Yeah, you know, they can't do that because we're just looking at the forest from inside the trees. We don't really know what's going on. So there's a good reason why they're letting millions of people come across. Like last year, what this January is double of what was last year. But if our border czar wasn't there, yeah, there would have been a lot more. So that's why Kamala Harris is up by Ukraine. And Donald Trump, he had trouble at that southern border. He had lots of trouble getting the wall up because, well, some people, they were putting roadblocks in front. They didn't want the wall up. And there's parts of the wall, everything's paid for, the stuff is there. But the border czar and the Biden administration, they don't want the wall up right now. I suppose, just let a few more million or so come in again because we don't want to put pressure on people and make rules and laws and lead by autocratic rule and force people to follow just the truckers and people that live in this country. We're going to try to force them, but the people coming across, but that ain't the whole thing here. The thing that I don't get is I know that the Biden administration left Ukraine in such a graceful way, because Mr. Biden said, we will not leave any well, Americans behind or anybody that, well, that was loyal to us and well, whatever. Yeah, and yeah, we get them all out of there. Yeah, and yeah, yeah. And so that's what they did, and that's why they're experts in up at Ukraine because they got all the Americans out. Well, so there's some Americans there. Let's not be splitting hairs if there's just thousands of Americans left there. I mean, that's I mean, that's just one little glitch in the whole thing. Yeah, just one. And well, okay, the people that were loyal to us and helped us over there and translate and okay, we were supposed to get them out, but I mean, you can't get everybody out, can you? I mean, we had to leave like we were being chased out. Well, kind of. And then because, and then our equipment. I mean, so we left some very expensive equipment and planes, and then we had a runway built in a strategic area, and we abandoned that right away so that the enemy could come in there. And well, with the Green New Deal, you're going to repurpose the planes because you don't want to get in the plane and fly it over here like this and then have a bunch of streaks in the sky. And yeah, you don't want that. So just let the enemy have it and repurpose it and reduce your carbon footprint. Green New Deal. And it is working. Yeah. So Mr. Biden, he's putting sanctions on Russia. Like, oh, I'm going to make it hard for them to move money or get money out of a bank. But then I was thinking of something that didn't make sense. And it really don't make sense because, and again, I'm not college educated, and I'm looking at the forest through the trees, and I have more of a handicap. I have like a hedge in front of the trees. So I remembered when Mr. Biden shut down our Keystone XL energy pipeline and then allowed Mr. Putin to open up a pipeline that was sanctioned, that was closed. Well, you could probably close that one down again, and that would be good. But Mr. Biden said no, because we got to, all our oil, we used to export oil, and by shutting our stuff down, we cut our production by about 50%. So now we got to get oil, and that's why he's begging OPEC, and we're buying most of our oil now from Russia. Yeah, because, well, Vladimir Putin needs oil for the tanks and oil to run his country, and you got to make gas and all kinds of stuff. Oil is good for. You make plastic. Yeah, plastic. Yeah. So he needs that money. And Joe Biden knows that. And that's a reverse sanction, like a reverse mortgage. Yeah. And he did that originally so that he could help Mr. Putin have the ability and money to sit up at the border and invade, even though there are sanctions. And that's why Mr. Putin is not really afraid. And it don't make sense to me, but a lot of things don't, you know. And that's how it is, you know. Like, oh, like look at the truckers, the Freedom Convoy, and now they're going to have a convoy in the U.S. where they're going to 1,000 trucks or more are going to go down to Washington D.C. And knowing the administration and who's in charge, they're going to call them domestic terrorists. But then the ones in Canada, you know, Justin Trudeau, he's money that was donated, they're taking that, they're draining their bank accounts. The trucks that are impounded, they're selling them to fix the damage they've done. Yeah. And all that they wanted was for him to talk to them, and they wanted the freedom to make a choice whether to have a medical procedure done or not. But no. When BLM was there, they could burn buildings and cars and smash things and hurt people. And Justin Trudeau kindly took a knee in solidarity with them. But then when the truckers, and this is something I just found out, these truckers, I should have known this, they were playing hockey in the streets. And you can't do that in Canada. You're going to wear the tar out. When that puck slides across, every time it slides, it's wearing the pebbles off the rocks. And some tar don't even have pebbles on the surface. I can't believe I didn't know that. And then well, barbecue grills in the street. Smoke can come off of those things. You're increasing your carbon footprint, you know. And what if a little coal fell into the tar and burned a little dent in the tar? You can't have that stuff. You can't have that. And then kids, I'll bet some of them kids had chalk and then they write on the road, that is a no-no. So that is why Justin Trudeau needs to clean up them streets. Needs to clean them up. And there you go. And there's some answers. They just make a lot of sense. Well, not to me, because, well, again, I was part of the class that made the upper 2/3 possible. And if you know what that means, then it'll mean something to you, if it means anything at all. Well, have a good day. Thank you for watching, and press that subscribe button.